Pine. It's time to rage. All right. No better time has this phrase that we said at the beginning of this. It's time to rage. Which was originally a knockoff of EA Sports. It's in the game, and it was just something stupid we could come up with. Now it actually means something.
Yeah, I'm pretty riled up right now.
We are fucking hot. And before we get to the heat, let's just say, if you want to listen to more shit, go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can follow us at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok. You can also follow us at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. Now, if you're from Harvard-Westlake, you know that name.
Hey, dude, let me throw this fun little tidbit in.
Yeah,
because we stirred the fucking pot so much, other schools have started to look at our Instagram account, our putrid follower count.
Yeah.
But apparently we've rustled enough fucking jimmies that people are starting to get turned on to us. And we had the Notre Dame High School coach, or rather not the coach, the athletic director. I think his name is Alec Moss, if I'm not mistaken. He ended up checking out our stories.
Oh.
Because I think we struck a nerve, dude. In so many words, we struck a nerve.
Clearly, we struck the nerve. There is unequivocal, undoubted evidence that we struck a fucking nerve. For some, I don't know why this was the thing that people latched onto, but man, they sure did latch onto it. And I guess for those that are here that don't know what we're talking about,
please recap them.
Let's just explain. So basically, our alma mater, all right, Corona High School, was playing in the CIF Division I finals, and they were playing against a school called Harvard-Westlake, and they won 5-0. Now, Adam went to the game, and he was filming and, recording shit, and he got some really awesome videos. So he decides he's going to post them up, and he's going to do it with, post them up, and then he's going to post up some with the clips of us talking about it on the previous episode to this of Chirping from the Pine. And we had said some things that we had said that this was a David versus Goliath story, all this stuff. Public school finally triumphs and wins over the Goliath of private school education systems, right? And that was what we said. And that was the clip, basically. And so it just lit the local internet on fire in Southern California. It fucking went pretty big. I mean, for us at least. And probably objectively just large in general. But
it has 20,000 views. It has
20. I didn't even see that. It's got 20,000?
Yeah, 20,000 views.
Jesus Christ.
And nearly 600 likes and just as many reshares.
You mean to tell me, man, I gotta fucking start paying attention to that. But you gotta tell me that 20,000 motherfuckers looked at our shit? Man. The numbers don't lie. You're right. The numbers don't fucking lie. Goddamn. So it's, for whatever reason, it's people are mad about us saying that Corona High was an underdog. I've had some conversations with some people in the DMs. Well, Adam and I both have had conversations with some people and, discussing this thing. And oh shit, that's right. That's why. All right, there we go. Sorry, you fucked it up.
Yeah. So you've been able to talk to a few people, and as we said, I mean, we're talking 20,000 views. We've gained, 20 followers out of this, and in terms of the likes and follows, they were roughly the same. Around 600 likes, 600 reshares. So, I mean, what else can you say about that?
The numbers don't lie.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, now it works. So, in talking with some of these people, and I still don't understand why people are so mad about this, but I can kind of see their angle a little bit, but I went ahead and just basically destroyed it in so many words. And their argument is that, this team, Corona High, there's 4 or 5 players that don't even go to school. They do distance learning, blah, blah, blah. They were recruited from outside of the area. They're transfers, blah, fucking blah, right? Okay, well, first of all, there's only 25 fucking guys on the team, right? 4 or 5 is less than 20. It's 20% or less of the team. There's another fucking 80% or higher on that team that are not those guys, right? They're not doing that. And additionally, if you look at Harvard-Westlake, as I said to some people, and no one's really had an answer for this because I don't think there is one. If you look at Harvard-Westlake and you really sit down and think about it, they're a private institution. No one is assigned Harvard-Westlake as their home school. They're not. Every single person who goes to that school is a transfer. Every single person who plays on that baseball team is a transfer. It's 100%. There's not a single person there that is that Harvard-Westlake is their home school, right?
And if that were the case about being assigned to home school, well, fuck, they would have ended up at fucking Brentwood or Beverly Hills as their high school.
And just to put this into context for people even further, from Harvard-Westlake's own numbers, their own admitted information, they put this shit out there. You can Google this. It's available on their website for anyone to go view if you think I'm lying or if you think I'm full of shit, right? They have students that come from 243 different schools, right? They also have students that come from over 155 zip codes. That's what they're advertising. I'm sure the number is higher. And even if they are, let's just say they are exaggerating it, that's still a lot because Corona High, generally, you have to live within the little fucking mapped out part of this city that's designated for Corona. It's maybe encompassing a portion of 1, 2, maybe even there's a 3rd zip code in there that you're pulling from, but it's not the whole zip code, but you're getting some from this little section of town. And yes, people can transfer here. So you're telling me that the 4 or 5 guys that transferred, that's not cool. That's not allowed. Or that's the problem. That's why they won. Because this team was built on transfers. That's what somebody fucking said. This team's built on transfers. I'm sorry. Just like the 100% of the transfers from Harvard-Westlake? Goddamn, wouldn't you know? Isn't that weird? So what argument do you have now as to why that's everybody's excuse? This team was built on transfers. That's why they won. They were designed from the start to do this. Yeah, I would fucking hope that a team would be designed from the start to win, right? That's what you fucking think, right? You would hope that. That seems, I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm the idiot here. Because that seems like common sense to me. And because people are so mad that we said that they're the underdog, we've gone over the numbers in the last episode. The monetary value. I even had to say it again to people on Instagram just to put it into perspective to say, like, Harvard-Westlake has a yearly budget that's 1/10 of the entire school district of Corona, Norco Unified. And it's 53 schools in the district that have to share that number. And guess what? I thought there was only 4 high schools.
It's 5.
It said on the internet there's like 11 now.
Oh, there's 11?
There's 11 now is what it says. Because you got the one that's
Roosevelt.
We got the continuation school. You got that college one. There's been a bunch that have been added that we don't even fucking think about. I think they added one in Eastvale. So there's like 11 high schools that have to pull from the high school budget, which is infinitely smaller than what Harvard-Westlake has to deal with. Additionally, Harvard-Westlake only has 875 students that attend their high school. All right. That's it. 875. That's what they got. And I was looking at it, and it's funny because they say that 21% of the students receive financial aid, right? Which means that school that you have to pay to go to, as we've been saying, it's, $50K a year. Wait, 21, 79%. I'm retarded with math, but 79% of the students that go there, their parents can afford to pay 50 grand a year for them to go to school. So you also mean to tell me that those kids don't have an advantage when it comes to having better equipment, having the ability to hire private coaches to be better than some kid in Corona? 86% of the children that attend Corona High School come from an economically disadvantaged family. That's a fact. That is a fact that the district puts out. So you're telling me that these kids, the 86% of them that are economically disadvantaged, are the fucking Goliath and the behemoth? Yeah. That they should be the ones that, oh no, these kids had every chance and every opportunity. They had everything handed to them. Bull fucking shit.
PG, brother.
Yeah, it's not getting PG today.
That's the part that kills you, man, is that people are trying to paint fucking Harvard-Westlake as a fucking victim, dude.
PG, brother.
I don't get it. How are they the victim? Are you the people that are on their side? It's got to be troll or people, not trolls, but like people that are supportive of Harvard-Westlake. Because if you're not supportive of Harvard-Westlake, then are you just like an elite rich guy apologist? Is that what you are? Because that's the only reason I could see why you would even defend this or how you could try to justify that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just makes me think. And even if that were the case, man, what the fuck does Corona have to offer to these students or these They literally can't offer them shit because they're a public school. There's no scholarships. There's nothing for them, dude. There's no path to becoming a major league player. You hear Mater Day. You hear fucking possibly Harvard-Westlake, Rancho Santa Margarita. These baseball programs that produce major league players, man, they have the prestige, they have the allure to convince people to go to their school because, hey, this is your best route to fucking getting to the top. You play with us, you might make it, or you have a better chance of making it than going to fucking Corona.
Yeah, and just to look at the offering that Harvard-Westlake, again, this is from their own shit, their average class size is 16 students in one class. There's no fucking way. The average class size in public school and probably at Corona High, I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure it's double that or it's like 30. It was like 35, I think, when we went. So their student to faculty ratio is 8-1. That's fucking insane. That's a lot of resources. Additionally, they advertise that 76% of their teachers hold an advanced degree, meaning a master's degree or higher. I don't really, I mean, I think that number at Corona is probably maybe 0. I don't know. But it's not 76%. I can tell you that much. So there's nothing for them. There's nothing Corona High has to offer in terms of, hey, we have something that's better than someone else, right? To get you to come here to us. Their offerings for recruitment and their options are none. They can't even say like they have a really great academic program. Harvard-Westlake, at least if you go there and you let's say you're pretty talented at some sport or whatever, and you go there, and yeah, you're going to play on the team, but at least even if that doesn't work out for you, you can still say that, hey, I went to Harvard-Westlake, this college preparatory, basically high school, that I got the education here. They have a list of, I'm not going to go through it, but they have a list of all their students every year that graduate that go on to these like very prestigious and well-known colleges, like Harvard. They're called Harvard-Westlake, but a lot of their kids go to Harvard, Dartmouth, Stanford, fucking all the UCL, like all these
elite elite colleges, right?
Yale, they have kids that go there, and they advertise that, hey, our education that we give you will make you more competitive to get into these schools.
And they paid for that. It's pay to win, dude. It's pay to win. Corona doesn't have pay to win. So, man, and that even makes me more fucking salty because let's say all those arguments were valid that everybody is saying, right? All right, now the playing field is equalized. We have transfers. We have kids that are doing remote learning. What's fucking Harvard-Westlake's excuse for fucking losing?
Yeah.
All Corona did was catch up to what everybody else was fucking doing. And now that the fucking playing field was equalized, everybody's coming up with these excuses for Harvard-Westlake. What's the fucking excuse now? You had the best of everything and you still didn't win.
Still couldn't get the job done with all that money, with all that talent, with the every opportunity that you had to recruit guys from 155 different zip codes to say, hey, come play for us. Look what we can offer you. It's so great. Come here. And they still couldn't do it. And yeah, okay, the distance learning thing, so what? If that's what Corona High was able to use to attract some of these guys to come, COVID basically just allowed, like, that distance learning thing was happening, and I guess it hasn't gone away. I guess you can still do that now, as far as like the schools are concerned. I haven't looked into it. I'm not an expert on it, but you know who's fucking trying to win is the coach or the person who says, hey, you know what? I can use this to my advantage because this still exists and it's still allowed. Why wouldn't I use this to my advantage? Why would I just be like, oh, the barrier to entry is, well, they don't want to come every day to class because they live too far. Hey, well, you can do distance learning and you can just come play baseball. Now the playing field has been evened. We can offer something that Harvard-Westlake probably can't. I doubt that they have that. They probably don't have online classes. Fuck, and if I find out they do have online classes or distance learning, I swear to fucking God, I'm going to find that dude who said all this shit on the internet and be like, look, your argument is null and void. But even so, even if they don't have that, now the playing field gets leveled by something as simple as distance learning. And now, look what happened. Look what happened. They wanted it, and this is not like an overnight fucking thing. People also been saying shit about, oh, this is just this, they just did this, blah, blah, blah. No, listen, this dude, the coach of Corona, has been there since 2009.
Coach Andy Weiss.
Right. He's been there since 2009. It's taken him 15 years to take a team to win a Division I Southern Section CIF championship. Right? That's a fact. In that time, Harvard-Westlake has won it twice. 2 times they've won it during that time period. So what's your excuse? What is your excuse? Corona High did it better than you, with less resources, with less opportunity, with fewer advantages, and they fucking beat you at your own game. That's why everybody's mad.
That's why everybody's fucking mad, because Corona did it with half. Let's look at that. These students are going to these, I don't know, these academies, right? The future generations or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
And then they're getting I'm guessing they're getting a teacher assigned to them to check on them weekly, to get their homework done and make sure they're doing all their assignments. And yeah, maybe baseball is like the thing that is the foremost important thing that they're fucking doing. But shit, I lost my point. Oh no, I lost it. Oh my God. Well, anyways, you gotta go. Yeah.
So this thing that we said about David versus Goliath is so true. I don't understand how people are able to even argue this point. And a dish to throw more fuel to the fire, our local newspapers here, all of them predicted someone other than Corona would win the CIF Southern Section Final. Shit, I think they actually predicted Harvard-Westlake to win, didn't they? Some of them. And you want to tell me they're not an underdog? You're telling me a guy, like, listen, I'm not versed in high school sports stats, all right? I don't give a shit. I haven't looked at it in ever. The only time I've looked at it now is just because this whole thing popped up and started happening. I would have not looked at it otherwise. So I'm not an expert, but you're telling me a guy and people who work for newspapers that their job is to report on high school sports, particularly baseball, and write an article or articles talking about their predictions for what's going to happen.
With journalistic integrity?
Yes, with journalistic integrity. And you're telling me that person who's verifiably and legitimately an expert on this issue, they picked a different team. They thought that Harvard-Westlake was going to win.
Those sons of bitches. That's our fucking team. Like,
first of all, we're the local fucking team basically that's in this. Why would all of our local newspapers go fuck off on us and fucking try to vote for somebody else? Why would they do it? Why wouldn't you just predict Corona would win just out of loyalty to our local sports teams? Which also, that's what tells me that this person had some sort of either inside information or some sort of stat knowledge that they saw something that said, oh, Corona's going to lose to these guys. So there's an example of multiple sources that thought Corona High was going to lose, which by definition makes them an underdog. Whether the team was better or not, whether it was ranked nationally better or not, irrelevant. Fucking irrelevant. I think stats and rankings are all fucking stupid when it comes to this shit because it's all just guesswork. It's all just, well, if we look at their schedule and we think about this and we look at this, that's all horseshit. Fucking garbage. It's a lot of opinion and some fucking stupid stats thrown in. It means nothing until they actually play each other. It means jack shit. So I don't value those at all. And it still does, but it does make me mad that that our local papers couldn't even fucking give us some credit, you know?
Yeah, and I did get my point back.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's exactly what you were saying, that on top of the $50,000 plus, let's say an additional $20,000 to $30,000 for private coaching. Well, Corona fucking did it better at this point. They have transfers. They have the people doing the remote learning. And that's money that's now allocated for fucking the training, potentially. And that's a cost that doesn't go down to the parents, where that's an additional $50,000. So they essentially did it. They essentially got the win with half as much money or a fourth.
Probably even less than that. And what really puts it all into perspective, I guess, at the end of the day, when you sit down and you look at it, is Corona High is just a public fucking school, man. It's a public high school. And Harvard-Westlake is not. They're a private school that's attended by, let's be honest, a poll was done. Let me just read this real quick because I thought this was interesting. It was a poll on, I don't know, it was like schools, like something where they rank schools, and the kids that are there and around there, they post what they think about it, right? So what's a one word or a phrase that best describes a typical student at this school in regards to Harvard-Westlake? 41% said privileged. That's the fucking thing that they said.
Oh my God.
And that was the highest answer. That was the highest fucking answer, was 41% of privilege.
PG, brother.
And so I'm not knocking anybody for coming from privilege or whatever, right? That you came from whatever, you didn't get a choice in that. But the difference here is clear. It's a socioeconomic advantage that the students at Harvard-Westlake have that the students everywhere else do not. And this doesn't just apply to Harvard-Westlake. It applies to Mater Dei, kids that go to Mater Dei, kids that go to Notre Dame. Any of these pay-to-play or pay-to-win, as Adam referred to it, as type of high schools, you have an advantage. If your parents can afford to send you here, Christ, man, that's a lot of extra expendable income that they have. They have a whole person's fucking salary just to pay for you to go to school. A whole full-time 40-hour-a-week job salary, an average salary in today's day and age of $50,000 a year. That's what they're paying for you to go to school. And I'm sure they're paying a lot more, as Adam said, to have the best baseball coaches, the best fucking equipment, all that shit. The advantage is clear. These kids at Corona High, while they may have been better, and it is true, they were better, they earned it. They earned that fucking stripe on their sleeve by putting in the work and busting their ass. And again, not coming from the riches and the wealth of the world. They did it on their own. They did it because they had to. There was no other choice. And fuck, man, they wanted it more. That's just the bottom line. They fucking wanted it more. When you were telling me about those kids at Harvard-Westlake that were chirping the whole time from the thing, and then as soon as
I have clips of that.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. As soon as they died, I made the comment, because you were texting me live when it was happening. You made the comment, and I said, oh, it's over. They're not going to win. Because right there, those kids faced adversity and they fucking quit. They fucking quit because they faced an adversity that they felt they couldn't overcome. And they lost. In that moment, the second that happened, they lost the game. And I hope that they learn from that. And they learn that, shit, man, it's not truly over until it's over. And maybe it's something that you learn with age. Maybe it's something that you learn through experience. I don't know. But it's a good learning experience nonetheless to say, hey, you shouldn't just quit and you shouldn't just give up. When the cards are down and you got to bust your ass, you fucking do the work. What are you laughing about?
Because we didn't even get to the best part.
Oh, what's the best part?
The tweet.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Oh, man. Okay. So that's the best part. So the next day, after this whole thing started popping off in the night, all right, it was in the evening time, I believe. And obviously my slave matrix job is working at night. So I was up all night just fucking with people and saying shit. And it was a great time. But the next morning, I'm going out, I'm doing something, and I get a ding on my phone and I see that it's Twitter. And I'm like, the fuck is this? So I look at it and I see the words Harvard-Westlake. And I said, oh shit, I got to click this. So I click on it and it says Harvard-Westlake liked your post. And then I said, oh, what? This was the post where Adam showed the video, right? And then he sang over it, fuck Harvard-Westlake, multiple times. Multiple times he's saying, fuck Harvard-Westlake. And the school liked it because we tagged them in it. And I told him, I said, I need to take a screenshot of this because I'm sure once they figure out what's going on here, they're going to fucking... They're gonna rescind that like. And so then, like, another, I don't know, 2 minutes later, I get another ding. And it says some guy, Jared Halpert. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I look, he leaves a comment and he says, Goliath. Yeah, that's right. And I said, oh, well, that was an interesting comment. But I was like, I wonder who the fuck this guy is. So I look at it. Oh, that's the coach of the Harvard-Westlake baseball team. The guy that got beat. The school, and then he also liked the post as well. So like I said, I have the screenshot because they did rescind the fucking likes. So it doesn't show up anymore. But if anyone wants to call me a liar, I have the screenshot. And if enough people call me a liar, I will post it on Instagram so everybody can fucking see it. Because if you don't want to take my word for it, I have it. And I'm sure that someone called them and was like, hey, you guys might want to remove that like because they weren't saying good things about you. And it also was hilarious because I don't understand why they even liked it because like, did you just listen to the first like 5 seconds and then fucking cool, like, and that's it? Like whoever's running their social media probably got fired for that. It sucks because I hate to be the reason somebody got fired, but like, man, that's kind of on you, bud. Like I didn't have nothing to do with that. You hit the button, not me. But I did think it was funny. And I was going to say to someone in the night before when I was arguing with them about this whole privilege thing, I was going to show them the screenshot and be like, hey, see, even Harvard-Westlake and the coach of the team agree with us that this was the David versus Goliath situation. So that right there, that alone, that single interaction of us saying fuck you to somebody and them liking it because they weren't paying attention is the greatest fucking thing that's ever happened to us. It makes me so happy that all the blood, sweat, tears, money, everything we've spent and done to get to this point of where we're at with this organization we've created, and likely everything to come that's going to be painful and costful regarding this, it was all worth it just for this one fucking thing. All worth it. And additionally, I kind of want to say that I think the reason why they're so fucking hot about this is because we're saying the shit that people don't want to say. They're thinking it, but they don't say it. And it's one of those things that for every person that you see in our comments that's talking shit to us and saying something like, oh, you're wrong, or you're an idiot, or blah, blah, blah. For every one of those, there's 100 people that looked at that and said, man, I appreciate these guys. I wish I could say these things.
Dude, the best part was there was comments talking about some of the players and how they inspired their kids. There was one that talked about Ethan Schiefelbein, Rosenberger, Hosengardner, that were talking about Ethan Schiefelbein and how fucking clutch he was during the game. And they're saying, I'm going to follow that motherfucker when he goes to UCLA. I'm going to follow the other players when they go to TCU, when they go to Oregon, when they go to Vanderbilt. That is cool, man. Like that was great because it's an inspiration to younger players that are on their way to developing as, you know, pitchers or whatever they might end up playing. And they're looking at local talent as their fucking role models. And I'm like, cool, at least something positive came out of this shit. Or actually, a lot of positive came out of it. A lot of people felt that what we said was probably right because the likes and the shares justify that. So I don't know. It's just been an interesting couple of days that all this stuff has unfolded.
Yeah, and I just have to say that, you know, in the end, I mean, I just love doing this shit. And I just love being able to speak my mind and say things that I feel without inhibition, without any kind of need to hold it back. Quite honestly, this really the most liberating and freeing fucking thing you can experience is the ability to say what you want and not have to worry about anyone telling you no. Like no one can tell us we can't have these opinions. Yeah, sure. Maybe they're not popular opinions, possibly, but doesn't matter. No one can tell us we can't have them.
And it's like, dude, do your own podcast if you want to fucking have your own opinion and you're coming on our shit, writing our coattails, and fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Make your own fucking podcast. And now listen, I have not, luckily though, a lot of people have listened to the episode because our numbers went up quite significantly. And what's funny is we haven't received any comments saying, hey guys, your podcast sucks dicks. So that at least tells me people must like it. Even if they hate us, they still listened and they didn't say it sucked. So,
and there was like a few, I think one of the parents of the players, I'm not going to say who, but I wrote a whole scribe about everybody talking about this corruption that exists within Corona baseball. And I spelled it out, what our take is. And she liked it. And I'm just thinking, this person feels this way, the way we do, but they can't say it because they're a parent.
Right. They're involved.
Yeah. So so in some way, we're speaking for those that can't really. I mean, an athletic director that has an opinion on what we're saying about Harvard-Westlake or what we're saying about Corona, they won't fucking say it because they have their hands tied behind their back because whatever they say about their school or other schools jeopardizes their fucking job and their reputation. But we don't have that.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have. And I mean, listen, we're building a reputation. And the reputation is that we don't give a fuck. That's the reputation. And quite frankly, that's the reputation that I want to espouse, is one of not giving a shit. And we will do what we want and say what we want. And there is no repercussion on the planet that can harm us for saying our mind and speaking our opinion, right? There's none that exist. No one's going to we're not going to get fired from this if people don't like our opinions or what we say. So it allows us to be the voice of the voiceless, because every single other platform that has a voice that can be heard, that could represent and say the things that people don't want to say or they can't say, they're not going to say those things, right? They're not going to say the things that are unpopular or that don't fit with the narrative or whatever the fuck the case may be, right? We can say those things. We can say what we want. And I just have to say, like I said, it's been very liberating to see this happen and know that we're also not wrong either. So that also helps. People agree with us. For, like I said, for as many people, for everyone that disagrees with us, there's 100 that say nothing, that have seen it and agree, or they'll drop a like and say, yeah, hey, I can like this. I can't comment on it because I don't want to get fired from whatever I'm doing, but I'll hit the like button because, hey, signifying I agree without saying I agree, you know? And it's just kind of been cool to see. It's honestly been mind-boggling to me as how this was the thing that just was so controversial. Like, how is high school baseball controversial, man? Like,
I'm wholly gratified that now this debacle has elevated baseball.
yeah,
Because for the most part, there's no personality in baseball. There's no grit or anything.
yeah, man.
And like now we're turning it into that. Now people are getting heated, and now we're turning it into fucking IE versus LA and OC, which is fucking great, dude.
Yeah, good. And you know what it is? Like, we've talked about this, I think, a little bit before, but baseball in general is missing an attitude, man. Baseball needs an attitude era. And fuck, man, inadvertently, I think we may be ushering that into high school sports, into high school baseball in the Inland Empire. And now that we've done this, and we were already, before this even happened, we were already making plans to cover this shit next season. Now it's for 100%. This is gonna happen. We are going to do this, and we're going to continue talking about it, and we're going to continue saying things that maybe people will not like, or maybe they will like. Who knows? But man, I still can't believe that this was the fucking thing that went. I've said some controversial shit on other podcasts. No one gave a shit. This though, man, lit a fire upon the internet.
And for all the fucking haters, dude, take a fucking seat, dude, because you had your opportunity to beat Corona and you fucking didn't. So shut the fuck up and take a seat.
Yeah, indeed. And just to say also, if you are one of the haters and you actually have the balls to bring an argument upon us in a format by which is not limited to a certain number of characters or typing in a reply in a fucking comment that's buried in a thing. If you got the balls and you want to fucking come on this podcast and you want to debate this issue with us, if you really fucking believe what you believe, have the balls, sign the release, we'll have you on. And we can talk about this for however long you want, however long you think you can go. We'll have a good old conversation about it. And you can make your point heard. Your voice can be heard. Even though it's wrong, we'll still let it be heard.
And dude, I'm more than willing to have an open mind to what anybody else has to say. And maybe we won't even come to an agreement. But at least it makes fucking baseball relevant and fucking interesting.
Yeah. And my goal, honestly, my goal is to create, if someone wants to come on, please do. And we can argue about this and we'll share it around. And hell, maybe we can get high school baseball highlighted more in the future. Because obviously everybody gives a shit about football. It's all football this, football that. Friday Night Lights. It's literally football. No one gives a shit about baseball. And I doubt people give a shit about baseball now, but maybe we can bring some light to it by having these conversations. And if everybody wants to talk shit and say that, oh, there's corruption and there's this, there's that, cool. Come on, present your sources, tell us what you know, present your argument, and then we'll counter it or whatever. We'll have a good old time.
I do want to talk about corruption now that you kind of segued into that.
Oh, cool. I love corruption. Let's talk about it. Only when I'm a beneficiary of the corruption, though. That's all I love. Right? Just want to make that clear.
I don't think this is even a problem at fucking high school level. Yes, it's the one that gets the most spotlight, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the one that people are getting heated about, right? But even in pony leagues, even in fucking pony leagues, kids leagues, are parents dictating whose kid's gonna play where? I'm gonna grab all the good kids. I'm gonna start my own fucking team. Maybe if for high school, it's I'm gonna make a 1-year program and we're gonna have the student get transferred and they're gonna do this 1-year program, and then it's a free for all for all the sports they want to fucking play, and now they have a star on the fucking team for this. It doesn't start at the fucking top. It's at the fucking bottom too. Like, it's in pony leagues, dude.
It's in pony league. It's in little league. Hell, I have the best example of the one from the pony league. Our travel team, the coach, he signed up to coach in the Corona Pony League and brought the entire travel team on his team. And we won the league and went almost to the Pony World Series, right? That's a prime, that is corruption. Now, granted, I was a beneficiary of that corruption, but it's corruption nonetheless. And it's bullshit. But however, and this is the thing when we were talking on the other podcast about that first principle line of thinking, right? The Lombardi thing. There's coaches and then there's play stealers. A coach breaks everything down and says, okay, here are the rules. As long as I stay within the rules, anything is possible. If you take that mindset, the coach who did that on when I was playing, he did everything by the book. Everything was within the rules. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you? If they can't stop you because there's nothing that says you can't, do it. Yeah, sure, maybe it's corrupt or it's whatever, or it's cheating or whatever you want to call it. But if it's legal, it's legal. If it ain't against the rules, there's probably a reason for that. That it's not against the rules yet. Maybe nobody's done it. Shit, maybe this whole distance learning thing will be illegal now. Who knows? Right? Maybe they'll learn from this. But I hope they don't because it's an equalizer. But again, even in Little League, man, it's the same thing. It's all politics. Like that small end baseball shit, it's all local politics. It's like trying to get elected to the HOA board, right? It's that horse shit where all these people that run the little leagues and the pony leagues, they're all just volunteering and they're all elected to run the leagues, right? And they're the decision makers. So if you're not in favor with them, your team gets fucked. Your team might not be back next year. Your team might not get new jerseys because they're falling fucking apart. Your team might get a shit fucking schedule. You may get placed to practice on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. when everyone else is got prime times, right? You can get screwed if you don't play the game. And you don't, that corruption thing like you were talking about. It's all, and honestly, I fucking don't like the way CIF does this divisional shit because it's kind of like that a little bit. And I don't like that they use the stats thing or whatever to try to like determine that. And it's a committee. It's like you said, it's like college sports. It's like the playoff committee. It's a CIF committee. They're the division creation committee for the playoffs, and they pick who goes in. Yeah, there's something that they show where they use certain stats and all this shit. It's all laid out or whatever. But at the end of the day, how does a school that's got 875 kids get in Division I? Back in my day, if I remember right, I felt like it was based on size of the school. If your school was over like 1,800 kids, I think that was how you got put into Division I because it was based on the availability of possible talent you could have because you had more people to pull from. If you had 1,800 kids playing or that could potentially pull from to play and fill out a 25-man roster, okay, well, then you shouldn't be in the same division as a school that's got like 900 kids, right? Because that's a disadvantage. They don't have as much to pull from. But now, because of obviously they've allowed the private schools to jump into CIF sports and play, now that's changed the game. Now they got these committees and all this horse shit, and I don't like it. It breeds the possibility of corruption to exist. And what's funny is in that Division I, there's a lot of private schools in that Division I. And again, they're not super huge, so how do they get up there? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But corruption starts at the bottom, and it's everywhere.
Yeah, and to further add to that, I'm hearing things about how kids that are transitioning from 8th grade to 9th grade are being held back so that they can play in the program a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And to play where they want to, so that they already have a leg up. I mean, granted, they're being held back a year, but they're going to have a leg up on the freshman talent. So it's like, even fucking at that level, dude, even the transition from 8th grade, from playing fucking travel ball to going to high school, you're going to hold your kid back or you do homeschool or whatever the fuck, just so you could be technically a freshman to do that shit. Like,
well, so you can be a freshman. Wait, what are you when you're a freshman? Like 14?
Yeah.
So you're going to be a 15-year-old freshman. So what? You're going to be 19 when you're a senior? Yeah. Like, shit, man, who wants that? That sucks. And that's another thing that I've learned in all of this, in seeing some of the types of profiles and some of the types of people that like our shit, right? There's a couple of them where they're these young kids. And I'm like, why the fuck is this 9-year-old liking our shit? Talking about fuck Harvard-Westlake? Why is this 9-year-old liking this? And I look on that and I read, Billy so-and-so, 9 and under, baseball star, Instagram ran by dad at whatever the fuck his name is. And the kid's Instagram is just a curation of why this kid's the next baseball fucking superstar.
The next fucking Ken Griffey, the next Bryce Harper, the next who the fuck ever. That's the narrative they're trying to create at 9 years old, when the kid is probably pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But you don't fucking know until they're in their teenage years or later.
Yeah, it does. That means nothing now. And that's the thing that fucking sucks, is it shows me that people want their children to live their failed dream, right? And that's, if you're pushing that on a 9-year-old, if your child has an Instagram account that you run and they're a sports star and you're running that shit, you've got a fucking problem. You are the problem. Don't push your failed dream on your kids, because they're 9 fucking years old. They don't know what they want to be when they grow up. Everybody wants to be a firefighter, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, I want to play pro baseball. Okay, that's great. But don't make that their life. Don't make that what everything of their existence is. And that's the part that fucking pisses me off, is it forces these kids to feel this pressure that, granted, when we played, yeah, there was a lot of pressure when we played, right? But I knew everybody who was counting on me. I could look them in the face and see, okay, not just my own parents, but like other parents on the team. Like, okay, I know the names of everyone who's going to be disappointed if I go out there and I fuck up, right? That's one type of pressure. This is a whole other type of pressure where you're now like a public figure. Oh, they got 10,000, 20,000 followers. This 9-year-old baseball Instagram account shows them taking BP, fucking hitting dingers over the fucking 75-foot fence that they have out there off of some unsuspecting kid who's terrible. Yeah, great. That's cool and all. But now they're facing this other type of pressure, because if they grow up and they don't become this, and let's be honest, the odds are not in your favor of playing a professional sport. There's only 30 teams in the MLB, and each team has what, a 45-man roster? So I don't know, times 30 by 45. What's that? Like 1,200 fucking dudes? So 1,200 out of the 300 and fucking whatever million people that are here in America have the chance to play Major League Baseball. Or make it, I should say, every year to play Major League Baseball. The odds of you getting in are not good. I'm not saying you shouldn't dream for it, but at 9 years old, you shouldn't be told that this is your path in life, because it's a very small percentage and a very small likelihood that you will make that. And then when you fucking don't make it, and you got all these assholes on the internet that you don't even know talking shit about you, man, that's going to fuck kids up, dude. I don't think we should be doing that. I think that should be disallowed. That should be illegal.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's too much, man. It's too much. Corrupted minds and corruption in baseball, dude. I mean, I don't know what else to add, but you fight fire with fire, man. I mean,
yeah, fuck yeah.
Corona fucking already had a disadvantage with schools that have 5 steps up the fucking staircase and they're on step 1. And then you have the shit in the pony and kids leagues or little leagues. It's starting down there. It's fucking everywhere. And I don't know. I just don't know, man. I don't know what to say, but ultimately, I'm just fucking happy that Corona won, because we were the least corrupt team.
Yeah, you know what? That's why it's great, because we were the least corrupt. We were the least bad individuals that won, all right? Because you got to remember, bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to see. I already got my next post lined up for Instagram. I can't wait to share it. I can't wait to piss so many people off and get under their skin, and for them to tell me that I'm stupid and all this shit, and we're fucking idiots, and every possible insult you can think of. But they're still taking time out of their day to comment on the shit, to watch what we're saying. That's how you know you're a fucking NPC, dude, is when you're following what we do.
That's true. That's true. But also do follow what we do, because it helps us out. So, you know, we're not saying don't do that, but, you know, I will say this too. I do really want to fucking talk to Coach Weiss and just ask him. I know he's not going to probably answer a lot of the questions that I have because of whatever, but I just want to know, man, going from being there in 2009 and basically inheriting this program that was essentially a piece of shit.
It was
and worthless.
It was, because even our years, like we expected nothing from the baseball team.
No, nothing. And to inherit that, and 15 years later for it to culminate. Again, I am in favor of bending the rules and doing whatever. I'm a whatever it takes kind of guy, right? I will do whatever the fuck it takes to win, because it's not about loving to win. You got to hate fucking losing. And I hate losing. So I'll do whatever it takes to not feel that feeling, right? And I kind of feel like that's how he is. He's the type of dude that's like, man, I hate fucking losing. And he finally figured out how to crack the code. And he's like, fuck yeah. And now, granted, listen, that's the other thing that sucks about being a high school coach. Every 4 years, you turn your turnover rate, all right? Because yeah, you may have had a good team and had a good run for like 3 or 4 years, but then, now you're starting over from scratch. And I would be interested to know, something he probably could answer is, now that a lot of these phenom guys are going away or graduating, right? What's the next step? How do you rebuild this? What are you doing now? I'd love to fucking find out.
And there is more to add. I mean, as far as the criticisms that people were having, they were calling into question Coach Andy Weiss's fucking shit. They were like, oh, he can't be that good of a coach, or, you know, it's just the recruits. It's just the transfers. It's just whatever it was.
Hey, and you know what those fucking people are? Those are people that have never played a team fucking sport. Because I know it's cliche, but it's so true, man. It literally takes everybody, even the guys that sit the bench and don't play. It takes every single person, the effort of every single person collectively, to go out and win this shit and to win the games, right? And the coaching staff is included in that. Because if you weren't there, if you're a coach on that team and you weren't there, would they have still won? I don't know. Was it maybe your thing that you did that one time that put them over the edge, that gave them that thing to push them to the next level? Who the fuck knows? Could have been, probably. But it takes everyone, man. It takes every single person to produce this product. It's a team effort. And those people and schools where they have one good kid or they have whatever, that's an individual effort. It's not a team effort anymore. It's an individual effort. And this Corona team, I'm so proud of seeing it, because team effort, man. It was a team effort.
And the coaching must have played a part, because this guy for 15 or 17 years, however long it's been, or it's been 15.
It was 09, so it's 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. You can't tell me he didn't play a role. He must have played a role, because you have to make the pieces work together. It's not just putting 4 fucking guys that are all-stars on the team and then filling out the next 5. You still have to get those guys to like each other, and you still have to get the chemistry right in order to make the plays work.
Right. And here's another thing to think about. You've got these 4 or 5 guys that are these phenoms, these superstars, right? Well, guess what comes along with that? What comes along with that is an attitude that I'm the best. I'm the best one here. I deserve this, that, and the other thing. I don't need to look out for fucking Johnny over here. I'm the fucking superstar. So as a coach, you have to manage that. Now, I'm not saying these guys are like that, but there's a pretty good likelihood that type of mentality exists among some of them. And as a coach, you have to handle it. You have to manage all that. You have to get Billy and Johnny to fucking like each other, because if they don't, we're not going to play well. If Billy and Johnny are some of our 2 best guys and they hate each other, fuck, we're going to lose, because they hate each other. They're not trying to help out. A lot of this is making sacrifices for the other guy, making a sacrifice for somebody else, or for the betterment of the team, right? Even if you are the better player, but you got to sit the bench so that this one guy who can do this one thing really fucking good can do it, then you do it. You sacrifice for the betterment of the team so that you can win no matter the cost, right? And that's what happened here. They were willing to win no matter the cost, and they did it. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I do want to go on a bit of a tangent, not relevant to what we're talking about.
Cool.
But there was something from Chirping on the Pine we were talking about towards the end about somebody potentially we're going to interview, but there was a specific player that I wanted to bring up, but that's not from the U.S., that this person had brought up in his own profile for Japan Ball. We're talking about Yuri Karasawa of Japan Ball, the publication, the website for everything Nippon professional baseball. He's been talking about this. This is the person that we were alluding to in the previous episode. So there's a player named Munetaka Murakami, and he's 24 years old, and he's the fastest. He's the player that has gotten 200 home runs the fastest ever. And now it seems like he's going to be one of those players that is going to possibly make his way to the major leagues, coming to the U.S., and this motherfucker was talking about him. And now all these U.S. publications, these blog sites like Dugout Report, Bleacher Report, talking about Munetaka Murakami, and this motherfucker was talking about this shit like months in advance. I've been following his account for I don't know how long, but this guy seems to be hip to what's going on in Japan. And if we are able to get an interview with him, I think what we're bringing to the table and what this guy's bringing to the table is talking about what the future of Japanese baseball is, and possibly what the major leagues, the players that are going to be crossing over. We're talking Roki Sasaki, a generational pitcher that is going to be possibly making his transition from the Nippon professional baseball to the major leagues. But it's possible that it could be 2 or 3 additional years, depending on his clause in his contract. But nonetheless, we're getting ahead of it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I think it's going to be a real joy to have this fucking dude if we're able to get him to talk about baseball from other parts of the world, specifically Japan. And just also to have another fucking great guest on fucking Without Censor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be fucking great. And that's kind of like what we're about, man. Finding the people that are at the source, the ground level, that are talking about shit before all the mainstream. They know the things before the mainstream does. And if we can like build a collection of people from multiple disciplines that we can become friendly with, that, hey, we can find out about shit before them, or before the big people, talk about it, or the big networks and all that shit. And that's great. And then we can help give them a platform to talk about this shit. Because, granted, that guy doesn't need our help here, but I don't know how he's featured here, but shit, it would at least be great to talk to him and find out, hey man, so why baseball in Japan? Why this? Why that? Multitudes of questions.
Yeah, and I think if anything, it's trying to get the eyes and ears of people from around the world on Japanese baseball and why it's so important. And with having this guy, I think he'll enlighten us and tell us all the things that we want to hear, or things that we would like to hear about what's going on overseas. And it just makes baseball feel so much bigger, to have other countries involved and to talk about the talent level of the players that exist there. Dude, the Czech Republic, one of the players from the Czech Republic in the World Baseball Classic was the motherfucker that struck out Ohtani on 3 separate occasions.
Yeah.
And now the Czech Republic is like, we're fucking doubling down on baseball. And now, according to this, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he's a photographer, but his whole mission, in addition to being some kind of tourist, he's got his own tourism company, but he's trying to bring baseball to Bhutan. And there was these amazing photos where you had baseball happening on a Buddhist temple, dude, this compound.
That's pretty sweet.
It was fucking amazing. Like, it's one of the coolest things ever. So the more baseball that exists around the world, the fucking, I don't know, man, amazing things happen. And
yeah, and what's funny too is I've been of the opinion for a while now that Major League Baseball is going to be the one that expands. Finally, baseball's played everywhere, right? It's a natural progression, more so than football, I think, because football is not played everywhere in the world. Everybody plays baseball around the world, and I think that MLB is going to open up the Japanese division and the Korean division and whatever you want to call it, and that would be so great because we could potentially have every year for the World Series. It could be just that, the World Series, and it could have the best professional sports teams of baseball in the world playing each other to see who's the top dog. That would be cool. That's where I think the future is.
Yeah, and dude, the World Baseball Classic last year, or not last year, but the last incarnation of the World Baseball Classic, dude, people were flocking around to see fucking US play against Japan versus Mexico in the semifinals. Yeah, that shit was fucking popping. It was amazing games, dude.
Oh yeah,
and it was played at the international level, and people fucking loved it. And that's the feel I want for baseball, dude. And that's what I think we'll get with this fucking guy Yuri Carousel.
Yep.
So I don't know what else to add, but are we reaching the end?
I think we are. You couple the international expansion, and you give them an attitude era, and man, baseball is going to be popping. But I think we're reaching the end of this. I think we've said what we need to say, I guess. So to summarize everything, if you want to fucking come on and fucking talk shit, sign the paperwork. Let us know. We'll fucking make it happen. And also fuck Harvard-Westlake, right?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know how much how much leg we have left with this, because if we do this another month, dude, I'm gonna expunge all my fucking energy.
Probably.
I don't know how much hate I have in me. Like, I think this might be
it.
Yeah, but depending on how this meme does,
let's see.
Depending on how this post goes, maybe one of you will spark something in me to start shitposting again, and we'll be back here.
And we'll be back here fucking angrily yelling about it. Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to do this again, hopefully not. But, I mean, I'd love to talk about other things other than this.
Yeah.
But, hey, if, like you said, if something happens, I mean, fuck, whatever. We'll be back talking about it, I guess.
Yeah, and I know we were on about Japan for a second, but I just had to fucking do this. I had to fucking do it because
and also I did want to also say fuck all the Inland Empire newspapers. All right, fuck all the ones that said Corona was gonna lose and fucking gave the prediction to someone else. Right? You can't fucking do that, man.
You gotta give us a shot.
You gotta give us a shot. God damn it! Not even our own faithful here believed in us. God damn, dude.
That's how much of an underdog we were. Not even the people here believed in it. Fucking terrible. Anyways, all right, well, fuck. I guess that's the end of the episode. Go listen to all of our shit. GameRageMagazine.com.
Let me say this.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
All right, regardless of how you feel about Corona and all this shit, dude, it's all in good fun. We're just trying to have a good time, and we're making baseball interesting and fun. So thank you for tuning. Like, genuinely, thank you for fucking tuning in and just having a good time with this. I know you're on the opposite end, but we're fucking having fun, dude.
Even if you hate us, thanks. This is still great. It's still fun. I'm sure you're being entertained, right? And that's the goal of Game Rage Magazine, is to entertain. Whether it's hate and discontent or love and elation, we just want you to be entertained. That's it. So hopefully mission accomplished. And
you gotta give us a shot.
Yeah, just give us a shot. But yeah, if you want to listen to all other shit, GameRageMagazine.com has all of our other podcasts. You can fucking look them up and see what we got. You follow us at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, and at Game Rage Mag on Twitter. And I mean, do you want to say yours, or do you want to get blown up with
I could just say all gas, no trash official, all one word.
Yeah,
exactly how it sounds. No underscores or anything like that in between the words.
And if you want the music, the local and worldwide music information and news, you go to All Gas No Trash Official, and you can also listen. That is also one of our other podcasts that we do, All Gas No Trash, the music podcast. So you can listen to that too and hear all kinds of cool stuff about music. Check out Without Censor though. That's our interview podcast. We have had some real good bangers, and like Adam said, we got some more lined up. So anyways, wait, do you have anything else you want to say? Or?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing an album review on All Gas, No Trash. We're going to be doing Lohum's Terra Incognita. This is an artist I've been following for, at this point, probably 5 years. And I feel like we're overdue for reviewing an album of his. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and check it out on the podcast. I already stated all the tags and stuff, and now you know the name of the podcast, and you can find it on GameRageMagazine.com, and you can also find it on Game Rage Magazine, the Instagram account, and Game Rage Mag on Twitter and
and TikTok. And all of our fucking podcasts are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of the apps, all the apps. If you got any of the apps to listen to the podcast, you can do it. It's also on YouTube. You can fucking listen to it on YouTube. So we make it easy, or we try to make it easy for you guys to listen. So anyways, thanks for listening. We will catch you on the next one. That was Chirpin' from the Pine, the Game Rage Sports Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Follow us on X at Game Rage Mag. You can go to our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.